Hello everyone! Welcome to PST Channel, game story, movie style for your busy days. Today we're diving into the epic conclusion of a massive saga. The complete story recap of Final Fantasy Brave Exvius War of the Visions Season 3. From royal weddings to world-ending threats, this story is packed with intense moments. So let's get right into it. The day begins with the wedding of Mont and Masherie. As Mont gets dressed, assisted by Glaciella, she mentions that the very dress Masherie chose for the ceremony was one Glaciella had specially made, imagining this exact day. Hearing this, Masherie turns away, tears silently falling from her eyes. In the end, it was she who would become Mont's bride after all. Elsewhere, Lilith weeps with joy. The young man she had once strictly trained was finally getting married. Even Engelbert, who had long refused to acknowledge Mont as his rightful lord, now stands in witness. The ceremony begins, and with this marriage, the kingdom of Orin, its lands becoming part of Leonis. Meanwhile, at Gilgamesh's base, Seymour and Stern finally uncover the truth about Gilgamesh and Sadali. They learn that Sadali had originally arrived on the continent of Ardra with a pure heart, but everything changed after the tragic death of a woman named Exia, a loss that twisted him into the man he is today. Gilgamesh blames himself, believing it was all his fault. Yet now, there is no turning back. The only path left is forward. At last, Stern awakens, and Seymour breathes a sigh of relief. Stern has finally conquered the darkness that once consumed him. Seeing this, Gilgamesh steps forward and presents Stern with a new suit of armor, a special creation he and Amnelis had spent years developing for one purpose: to fight the Great Calamity. In Heindler, plans are already in motion. Now possessing two powerful rings, the kingdom has become one of the strongest on the continent. They prepare a new assault on Ovis, believing a victory there will give them the foothold needed to strike Orn next. Back at the castle, Masherie remains behind to guard it, fearing the church might attack while Horn's forces are away. Before Mont departs for battle, Masherie shares joyful news with him. "I'm pregnant," she says with a warm, trembling smile. Season 3 had barely begun, and already Masherie had a husband and a baby on the way. Mont, overwhelmed with emotion, promises to create a peaceful, beautiful world for her and their child. It is a promise made from the heart, yet one laced with an ominous air. A death flag waving. On the battlefield, the Wazette army does everything it can to bring down the monstrous realm scourge. Soldiers launch a full-scale assault, but their attacks do nothing. The creature's skin is like armor, impervious to all damage. Suddenly, a massive beam of light shoots down from the heavens, striking the beast. The winged one, Gilgamesh, has arrived. He points at the creature's core, drawing everyone's attention to a horrifying sight. Fused into the monster's body is the figure of a young woman, Amnelis. She had sacrificed herself to seal the beast. Gilgamesh's voice turns grave. He reveals that both he and the realm scourge have come from the future. The creature is a weapon of war, crafted for pure devastation, but its creator, Emperor Vlad, grew terrified of its power and banished both it and Gilgamesh to the past. The recent war between Leonis and Fennis, waged upon Leonis' soil, and the overwhelming bloodshed that followed, stirred the creature from its slumber, breaking the seal. Hearing this, Stern freezes in realization. This This was the very threat his father had long feared, the calamity he had tried so desperately to keep at bay. Not long after, the realm scourge arrives on the scene, devouring the souls of fallen soldiers one by one. But no matter how much it consumes, it is never enough. It flees, desperately seeking a place to rest, like someone gorged from a feast looking for a shady spot to nap. Meanwhile, deep beneath the Dine Church, in an underground lab, Sadali uses a crystal's power to restore fragments of Exia's soul, transferring them into her body. When she awakens, Exia is filled with disgust. She despises what Sadali has done, committing untold atrocities just to bring her back. Without hesitation, she turns her back on him and walks away. Sadali is shattered, emotionally devastated, drops to his knees, empty and broken. His HP might have been full, but the emotional damage was critical. Back at Horn Castle, Mont arrives and enters Masherie's chambers. There, he finds Graciella holding their child, gently embracing the baby with a mother's love. Mont, though touched, has no time to spare. He declares his intent to rush back to Oris, for the realm scourge has awakened. Masherie, despite her worries, gives him strength. Come back alive so you can hold your child again. Then, disaster! The realm scourge unleashes a beam of light that sweeps across everything in its path, obliterating Ovis Castle entirely. Makrat, the soldiers, the injured, all perish in the collapse. Later, when Shalze meets Mont, she thanks him for defending Ovis Castle, but Mont sees through her act, realizing she isn't as noble as she pretends. When she tries to kill him, Mont summons a vision to counter her magic. As the smoke clears, Shalze has vanished. Mont, undeterred, now sets his sights on the church. Meanwhile, seeing that Sadali had genuinely repented and that Mont had forgiven his past sins, Exia finally reaches out to join forces once more. Just like old times when they walked together from Tekshera, they now stand united again to stop the realm scourge. At Rundle Castle, the army mobilizes, and leading them is none other than Jaden. The very same Jaden who had vanished for most of the season to recover is now back, sporting a brand new outfit and more fired up than ever, especially upon learning that Hindler has also begun mobilizing to join Mont's alliance. Back on Macherie's side, she feels an ominous power brewing. Entrusting her child to Helena, she rushes off to help Mont. She fights her way through hordes of the realm scourge's minions until she reaches the main battlefield. Her resolve only deepens when she hears that Hindler, too, is on the move, heading toward the allied front. Mont sees Gilgamesh fighting alone against the realm scourge and panics. "Retreat!" he shouts. But Gilgamesh stands firm, vowing to hold the beast off until his magic runs dry. Macherie witnesses this and leaps into the fray, intent on helping Gilgamesh. Realizing her plan, he tries to stop her, but she has already made her choice, for Mont and for their child. She invokes the awesome power of her pendant. A giant golem emerges, holding back the calamity just as Gilgamesh's power gives out. But that is just the beginning. From the pendant, she summons Ifrit and Ramu, unleashing devastating attacks on the realm scourge, who screams in pain. Then, Leviathan appears, sweeping through the enemy ranks, tearing down the beast's minions in waves. Gilgamesh looks on, astonished. The ancient Orn bloodline's latent magical power had finally awakened. This was why, long ago, he entrusted the pendant to House Orn. But such power comes at a terrible cost. As long as Masherie channels that power, she falls deeper into a trance, losing her awareness. Worse, the pendant drains her life force slowly but surely. Still unconscious and fighting in a trance, Masherie begins to float, summoning more and more espers into battle. Odin is next, striking the realm scourge with a mighty blow. It works, but the feedback strikes her too. She screams in agony. Finally, using her very life energy, she summons the legendary Bahamut. The colossal blast forces the realm. Elsewhere, the marching army of Rundle is on its way to join the final battle. But first, Jaden has unfinished business with Oberon. He draws his gun without hesitation. Seeing things about to explode, Alea rushes in, begging her husband and brother not to fight. But Oberon stands firm, resolute. We need to settle this, once and for all. Just then, Abbott steps in. He stops the standoff and warns Jaden not to take things too far. Jaden responds with sincerity. He had always seen Oberon as his partner. Hearing this, Oberon lowers his guard, overwhelmed with guilt and regret. At last, the two make peace. Suddenly surprised, Gilgamesh descends from the skies. He has come seeking help from Jaden and Oberon, who also wish to support Mont. Oberon returns the ring he had once taken from Jaden. Now the two warriors will fight alongside Mont, united to face the realm scourge. Back at Orn Castle, Sadali, now appearing as his true, noble self once more, enters and thanks Mont. Sincere, I've reclaimed my original self, because you believed in me, he says. He then reveals a ring, a replica modeled after an ancient relic. Despite not being the original, it possesses the power to summon a vision in the form of armor, crafted from Sadali's own ideals. But for it to awaken fully, it needs the united strength of both Rundle and Heindler. Just then, determined Jaden and Oberon arrive, ready to join the Allied front. What a spine-chilling, epic moment. All the generals gather in the courtyard. Sadali brings forth the armor and asks everyone to pray from the heart. One by one, they send their hopes and resolve into the armor. It begins to shine brilliantly and equips itself onto Mont. In a flash, a single radiant wing bursts forth from the armor. A symbol, Sadali explains, of a pure heart. Everyone erupts in joy, cheering for Mont's transformation. The three leaders, Mont, Jaden, and Oberon, gather to discuss their plan. The realm scourge has gone north, so they decide to lure it back to the center of the continent, where Jaden and Oberon will ambush it. To seal their pact, they press their rings together, a symbol of unity. United. We will win this war together. Meanwhile, two beaten and broken figures are burning with revenge. Shals carries the unconscious Luciel on her back, riding a chocobo toward the battle. Jaden is currently holding off the realm scourge, but Shals is determined to interfere. Despite Luciel's reluctance, she has no strength to resist. Jaden and Mont spot them and rush in, trying to stop whatever they are planning. But the truth becomes clear. Shals knows the realm scourge needs magical energy to regenerate, so she and Luciel intend to sacrifice themselves. They will offer their immense magical power to be devoured, giving the realm scourge enough strength to push Mont's forces into despair. It is their twisted form of revenge. Back at Orne, the wandering swordsman Garusa confronts Whisper in a fated duel, but it becomes clear Whisper cannot defeat him. Soon after, other renowned swordsmen appear, a gathering of old disciples, all trained by the Eastern master, unknowingly drawn to this very moment. Garusa is then struck multiple times, his tendons ruined, both hands now unable to grasp a sword. Accepting defeat, he sits down, offering Seymour the right to take his life. But Seymour refuses. Live on, Garusa. Carry the weight of all the lives lost because of you. Face it. Later, when a seal is broken, Masajika appears, declaring that only those worthy can claim him. Just then, Gilgamesh arrives. He recognizes that voice, his eyes widening in shock. He never expected to meet Sobeck again like this. Garusa, brutally beaten and broken, drags himself forward. He has to grasp the sword of Masajika, the blade he has sought all his life. But now, it is no longer just a blade. Sobeck has possessed it, and now possesses Garusa's body. Sobeck admires his new vessel, praising its power. Now, standing before the realm scourge, he vows, I will slaughter them all, as revenge. Back at the church, Sadali and Exia perform a delicate healing ritual for the unconscious Masherie. It will take time, and they cannot move her. Sadali asks to see Exia smile one last time. They embrace, but neither says goodbye, believing with all their hearts they will meet again. Exia then leaves for Orne to fight once more, while Sadali remains behind, continuing the ritual until Masherie is healed. Days pass, and the fierce battle against the possessed Garusa, now Sobeck, rages on. Neither side seems to tire. Then, Exia arrives. Without pause, she marches directly to Sobeck. She understands the pain he has endured and offers her own life to atone for everything. But Sobeck refuses such mercy. He wants her to suffer, slowly, painfully. In a final act of resolve, Exia uses all the magic stored in Masherie's pendant. She summons Ifrit, then more and more espers, each striking both herself and Sobeck. Finally, her body gives out. Others nearby flee the onslaught as Ifrit tears through Sobeck's minions, wiping them all out. And yet, Sobeck survives. Seizing the chance, the allies rush in, launching a coordinated attack. The sword of Masajika is knocked from his grip. Varush lunges, driving the blade through Garusa's body, ending it all. Gilgamesh rushes to Exia's side. Cradling her gently, he weeps. With a faint voice, she thanks him. Then Exia draws her final breath. Suddenly, a new figure appears. A reborn Whisper. She steps forward and offers to seal the now cursed sword of Masajika. But as she approaches, Stern stands in her way? Falsette speaks up, revealing the truth. This is no longer Whisper. She is now Forel. To wield the cursed sword that manipulates emotion, Forel had given up all the feelings she had once learned. She had chosen to become a soulless homunculus again, just to control the blade. A flashback reveals she made this choice not for herself, but to protect Stern, to protect those she loved, even if it meant sacrificing the new feelings she had only just begun to understand. Seeing her now, Sadali murmurs, Whisper truly is Exia's child. When Stern learns the full story, he collapses, overcome with sorrow. But Falsette's words ground him. If you're truly a man, then respect your sister's choice. He finds his resolve once more. Forel then steps forward, grasping the blade of Masajika. Let's go finish this. Let's destroy Realm's Scourge. The final battle has come. Realm's Scourge, after consuming countless souls, has transformed into its ultimate form, the Altemo weapon. Forel attacks from above, launched into the sky by a vision from Mont. Stern, having just arrived, leaps to join the fray, taken airborne by Gilgamesh. The two Leonis brothers unleash a furious assault, cornering the beast and draining its strength. Then, they leap together and unleash a final dual blade strike.
やったな、兄貴。お前のおかげだ。知ってる。ありがとう。父上もきっと喜んでくれているよ。
Finishing it off. The dread that haunted generations is no more. Realm's Scourge is defeated. As Altemo weapon vanishes, joy erupts. But then, Sadali returns, a dark expression on his face. Mont, however, sees through the act. Sadali doesn't wish to live on. He only wishes to repay Mont one final time. He offers the church and its followers to Mont's care. Understanding Sadali's conviction, Mont agrees to a final duel.
エキシアが待ちくたびれています。
サダリ。
さあ、ここで決着を。見事で。モンと。
In the end, Sadali asks Mont to strike him down. Mont holds Sadali's fading body. Sadali whispers, "Gilgamesh once called me the bearer of light. But now I understand. I was never the light. I only bore it. And you, Mont, you are the light." He had played the villain so Mont could rise as the hero, the one to bring peace to Ardra. With a final blessing, he is gone. As for the comrades, Mont, Jaden, and Oberon, though they had defeated Ultima Weapon, Mont senses true peace has not yet arrived. Far away across the great waterfall, the true enemy still waits. The three ring-bearers stand together beneath the stars and swear a sacred vow to protect Ardra and bring forth real, lasting peace. And so, the legend continues. And so, the legend of Ardra comes to a close. At least for our channel. When we started covering War of the Visions, we made a promise to see it through to the end of Season 3. and it has been a long and dedicated mission. We know that for many global players, this part of the saga was missed unless they made the jump to the JP server. And it was important for us to bring this grand, emotional finale to all of you, to give these characters the send-off they deserve. From the bottom of our hearts, thank you for joining us on this incredible multi-season adventure. We hope you enjoyed this final chapter as much as we did bringing it to you.
Looking for a nostalgic recap or a quick dive into a game story? Check out PST Storytelling channel. We help busy gamers experience epic tales, even with packed schedules. In just 30 minutes, you should be able to get the full story and atmosphere of a new game you haven't had time to play. Please check our channel to see if we have a story you're curious about. We're passionate about helping gamers, even if YouTube algorithm never help us. Thanks for your time.